Hello and welcome to lesson 1 of week 5. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to create a database in MySQL. My name is Mildred. Now, to create a database, we use the create database statement. Now, when you use create database, you will specify the name you want for your database. So let's just use DB name as a placeholder. So this alone is going to create a database. Now, if the database already exists, this is going to give you an error and says database exists. And if you don't want to have that error, you will say create database if not exists. So you always want to have the if not exists option, so that if this database already exists, it does not bother about creating it, it just ignores. If it does not exist, it creates a database. Now, when you create a database, you want to specify the character set and then you want to specify the collision. Now, a character set specifies which characters you can store in the database. If you are storing different languages, you want to select a set that is going to have support for the different symbols and emojis in that language for you to prevent data loss or data corruption. So different character sets use varying amounts of storage per character, and all of these different storage impacts your disk space and also your performance. So if we have a language that has a lot of symbols, like the Chinese language, you want to use different character sets that has support for those symbols in that language. We also have the collision, which will define the rules of how the characters within that character set is sorted, compared and ordered, and this will deal with all of the aspects of maybe like if you want to do like a case sensitive retrieval of information, if you have like a name in a particular language that has their critical marks, all of those kind of sorting, language sensitive sortings that you do. So we're going to create a database. We're going to call this an authentication system, and then we're going to try to create all of the tables and constraints and look at all of those definitions for us to know how to create our own database where we store information. Now, UTF-8, written UTF-8, is usually the best choice for multilingual application because it has support for many languages and symbols in the world, and so we want to use the UTF-8 character set. And then within the UTF-8 character set, we have different collations, and we'll still use the UTF-8 Unicode CI collision. And so the way we're going to write this is, let's create an education database. So we'll call this, let's say, create database if not exists. Let's call this database access control. Now we want to have the character set is written, let me put this in uppercase, character set, and then we specify the character set. We want to use UTF-8 MB4, and then we specify the collation is written collate, and we specify collation. Let's say we want UTF-8 MB4 and we want Unicode CI. Alright, so when we run this command, we should see a new database called access control created, and so all is well. We have the green check mark beneath here, and so when we refresh the schemas, we should have that access control database created. So we have seen how we create this. If we try to run this again, we are not going to have any error. It just gives us a warning that this already exists, and so it ignores it. If we don't have this if not exists clause here, it will give us an error because we're trying to create a database that already exists. And whenever you want to delete your database, you use the drop database command, and it's written drop database and then the name of the database. You can still use if exists. Now you want to only drop it if it exists, and then the name of the database access control. Right, so you want to play around with this, and you want to see how you can create database, how you can clean it up. You don't want to use the drop database command if you have tables and you have records in your database. Now let's look at the different storage engines. We created this database, and there is something we call storage engine, and there are two types of storage engines. We have the one that supports transactions and the ones that do not support transactions. When we create our tables and we get to the topic transactions in the future week lesson, we will understand why we need to choose the storage engine. So from versions greater than 5.5 of MySQL, InnoDB was the default storage engine. So as we created this without specifying a storage engine, InnoDB is a default. It is written InnoDB. This is always the default storage engine, and it's ACID compliant. When we say ACID, we mean atomicity. All the transaction takes place at once or does not happen at all. We talk about consistency, that the database will be consistent before and after that transaction. isolation, we have isolation that means that multiple database or multiple transaction within a database occur independently without interaction, and durability, which ensures that the success of a transaction occurs even if a system fails. And so we have this InnoDB, and we want to check the engines that we have. So you can run a command, show engines, like this, and this will give you all of the different engines that this supports. So we have the NDB cluster, and we'll see all of the support, whether we have it. This doesn't have support for this. CSV, yes, and we want to see if it supports transactions. So when you're working on the relational database, you want to select a kind of engine that supports transactions, and InnoDB supports transactions. You can see yes here. Now, another one we had that was the default was MySQL, and when you use MySQL, it has no support for transactions, which means that you cannot define table relationships when you use MySQL storage engine. So you can specify storage engine, and when we start creating our tables, I will show you how you can specify a storage engine if you are not going to be using the default storage engine. In the next lesson, we are going to look at how to create a table and the different table data types that table can hold in MySQL database. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.